that's what the ground is before you start work, that's existing grade.
Right.
And then the magenta lines are the proposed grade, that's what you're going to. So I'm looking at this and I'm at 451.5, and I'm going to 451, so that means I'm going down half a foot. So I went down -0.5. And I repeated that process for all four corners, and then I averaged those four numbers, so added them together, divided by 4, and that gave me -0.625 feet. So I'm going down -0.625 over that 400 square foot area. And that is the volume of earth you are cutting.
So you're just trying to see how much site work you're doing?
It's how much earthwork you're doing. And you wanna,
Sorry.
no, and you want to keep up with, so you're gonna, once you're done, and yeah, everybody listen to this, once you're done, total up all your negatives and all your positives, and then you're gonna have a cut fill, and you're gonna be able to tell how much import or export you have on the job. Does that make sense? So,
Are you setting up
So
a
you never
spreadsheet for
combine
this?
those numbers?
so what I would do is I'd go through, I'd add all of them up in Excel. I'll show you. I told you I was gonna give you a fun spring break. Yeah.
What we're doing is, I'm not.
Cut fill estimates. Alright, so, let's say this is -200, -400, -800, this is 100, this is 50, -500, -600, right? So I would type everything out just sequentially, and then I'd sort it. Data, sort. And then now, you know, where your cut fill line is. Insert line. That would be all my cut. That would be all my fill. Come down here. This minus that. Oh. This is equal to, this is plus. So right now, based off those random numbers, I've got a cut of 1,550 cubic feet that I have to put in a dump truck and haul away.
Isn't there a program?
Ag Pro. But it's about 20,000 a license, and even most GCs I know don't pay for that, so you've got to have some basic ability to do a cut fill analysis. But yes, there is.
That's moving a lot of dirt to pay for that one.
Mhm.
I said, I feel like I've used one
Yeah.
for residential.
Yeah, there are cut fill softwares out there, but this is part of the difference between training and education is
Right.
you're learning the process of, because it's doing the exact same thing, you're just doing it manually. Because it's important for y'all to understand, like, basic cut fill, like, that you could look at a grading plan and say, yeah, these are mostly cuts, and roughly you can come up with how many cubic yards you need to cut. And same thing, like, if you're just running a project schedule, and you're like, how many yards do I need to fill this week to catch just this one little section of road? You could be like, roughly it should be 1,000 cubic yards of fill. I've got whatever 10 yards on the truck, so I need 100 trucks running through here. I have 5 trucks available to me. That means, you know, I have 20 round trips. You got yourself a pretty rough schedule for that little section. I know it sucks, but hey.
How close are
education.
you wanting us to get, like, our, like, point twos?
Like I said, I'm doing about half foot, 0.5 foot increments for each.
So I'm
corner.
rounding.
Yeah.
Then, okay.
Now, I mean, if you were truly an earthwork contractor trying to nail a highway job, I mean, they get down to 10
Oh, it's
foot.
nitty gritty, yeah, I know, been there, done that, but not hand done, but
Half a foot is.
half foot's a lot.
That's 6 inches.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But that gives you all a basic grasp. of-
Just an idea of how it's done.
How the hell is that cheating?
And he's cheating.
Yeah, cheap.
Blue beam, I'm just gonna use blue beam.
And I said that at the start of class, if y'all want to do this on your computer, I'm fine with that. I recommend being able to do it by hand,
Hey, see?
because you won't always have software available to you.
Years on this.
We got spare sheets up here, Kennedy, don't worry.
We need to frame that somewhere, that is pretty amazing.
When you talk about not being able to follow simple
You,
instructions.
Oh.
you need to hang that up in your office.
I think I'm gonna,
That's what probably.
I think I'm gonna cry.
But-
This is easy.
I think
This
I'm
is a lot.
What if we like number the squares?
So that's kinda what I was thinking doing, was like doing like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then doing like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like down the
Yeah,
sides, and then
and
I
then
could do it like in a grid.
Yeah,
Alright, here, let's.
anyway, it doesn't matter, just
As long as you can make it work.
Cause I think this is gonna get too messy for me.
Yeah, it's way too small, I can't. My grandma fit it all.
Wait, so we're supposed to figure out all squares?
Yeah, girl,
Is this,
Yeah, it's a whole cut and fill.
so how many points is this worth?
She's like, if I just don't,
13th of your grade.
that's a lot. Carla, don't do it. It's not working.
That's not that much.
And you need to know how to do it, seriously, like,
Phoebe's like,
you
I
don't wanna
can't
go
do
through
it.
life getting bullshit about earthwork contractors.
I also know how much other homework I have.
We got a whole week.
I'm not gonna be able to do this in another month.
I work the whole week.
I mean, yeah, but we don't have to go to school the whole week.
No,
This might be my
wait, let me
weekend
tell you how many
project.
hours I'm working.
And y'all will get, this is a big assignment, I agree, this is a big assignment, so this is gonna be a 2 class period assignment, so you got all this class period, you got all spring break, and then you got all Monday following spring break to complete it, so I'll be
You're
here, available for questions, but if you get it done or wanna do it on your own time, that'll be Monday.
You're right. We appreciate it.
But I do feel like, I mean, we're going through curriculum right now for this program, and like, this should be at the top of the list of things that students from this program should be able to do, is a basic cut fill analysis. So I'm telling you, earthwork contractors are some of the biggest
Oh, they're,
untrustworthy groups of people.
there's something. Well, a lot of it is people aren't willing to.
Who do you work for?
Huh?
Who do you work for?
That's how many hours I'm working this week.
Yeah.
That's
Next week.
it.
I like them, I like them.
That's,
See,
that's
We got-
if
look
I
at
don't.
Pool guys,
That's
pool
if he
boards,
lets me go.
roofer, JD at TCC.
Maybe that's it.
No, they have been very
60 to 70
professional with
a
me,
week.
but most of them
Minimal.
are, they will lie to you about quantities. And it's real easy, especially with
And
like
food.
I've
undercut,
heard from
like,
students
you
of
better
mine
know
that
how to calculate this stuff on your own and keep them honest. And running a short-term schedule, like, you better be able to just say, this section of road is 800 cubic yards. How many trucks do I need
To work.
to fill
5 to
800 cubic yard hole?
Right.
But if you can't figure out it's 800 cubic yards, good luck.
Minimum.
And you're just gonna
And if
be
I don't have
asking an
five,
earthwork contractor, when are you gonna get this done? You know, like, you're not gonna have any basis to
I wanna see your
quantify.
pay stubs right now.
Okay.
I wanna see it.
By choice,
salary
or is it?
I'm glad I don't.
It doesn't tell you the days. Let me see your clock. Do you have an hour?
Salary means it's the same, the whole.
No matter what you do.
No, I
Work
know.
is fewer, as many
I know,
hours,
but like-
it's the same.
So we don't clock her out.
Also means overtime, it's not paid extra.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Also,
No,
overtime
no.
doesn't exist.
No, people got
So you
so
still
much
get to
space.
work overtime.
You
just
get to
don't
work
paid.
overtime, you
You
don't
get
get paid
$0
extra.
for it.
Yeah.
So you don't have like
That's what Dad does.
That's
like
good,
even
huh?
notes of how many hours you did?
No.
You see your fucking life 360. Cause ain't no way.
I
So,
don't have a life 360.
for the corner,
How do you
so
track your
when we start
husband?
this one, there's a
Find
first
my
question, is
friend.
what's existing? So that's
Yeah.
442.
He's a dog of a chipper.
Yeah, right now, he's driving.
That's 447. So I'm gonna say
But
that.
how are you not tracking it?
447.
You've got to track
He's
it.
still at work.
And
I have a tracker on, yeah.
48.
Yeah, he's at work.
It says
48, so
don't
you're
turn
on
off the
48.
fucking location. She put it
So
in my
you
drink.
need, you're 447, so it goes up.
See, he's right there.
No, Life 360 gives you detail.
I don't have life
I would
360.
rather.
I'm only,
Why 60 to 5 to 5?
because we both have iPhones,
Yeah.
so I.
No, I said why 5 to 5,
So you
not
gotta do
why
that.
5 to 5.
So what's existing?
That's what you believe.
Is that how long it takes you to get all your work done?
Can, yeah.
447.
You get there at 5.
That right there, 447. So that's 447.
We're
And
gonna have
that's
our lunch, so we're gonna do
440.
it
So
faster.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the surprising part. The surprising part is that the 5 to 5, no.
Yeah, I used to work before.
449. roughly. On 449, you go to 449.
Well, until I have kids, yeah.
So that's down.
Yeah, to be on the ground.
So you're at 449, and you're going down to 440. So it's minus 1.
Look, I wanna buy a house.
To travel. What happened to exploring the world?
I wanna buy a house.
That's what you're going to.
I wanna be able to afford a house. I want,
And that's the same.
That's the thing I want.
I like paying the bills that I already currently have.
I wish I could.
No, you're at 449. Go.
Did you email this
It's
to
for
us?
Horace Future. It's part of the drawings you.
Is it Aurora? Okay.
And then you just average all those together, so minus 1, minus 1, minus 2.
It might actually be easier.
That's what I was thinking, I'm kinda debating it right now.
I'm thinking about it, but
Cause would,
I like my
would he have to do the
brain.
same, does he just make those straight lines?
Yeah.
On
Yeah, he calibrated
And then the
the,
drawings are saying, go
Drawing.
change that elevation to 440.
on Bluebeam.
So you gotta go
But I don't
down.
have Bluebeam on this computer. I've got Bluebeam on my work computer.
So that's down a foot, but over here you're actually up a foot. And there you go.
Fuck, hang on, I might just do it by hand. Alright, bye. I gotta go buy a lawnmower.
Because here existing is 447. Over 447, whereas here's existing is 440. I'm shooting for 448. Here. You're after struggling reading grading plan. So, the light gray, this is what you really gotta understand, these light gray numbers, that's existing, that's what it is today. It's a wooded site, and a surveyor came through and they marked every foot of increase, so it tells you where everything's at. Then the magenta lines is what the engineer's telling you you need to get it to. That way. So, you gotta figure out where are you today, and where do you need to be at the end of the job. Yes. So that.
This is gonna be.
So pretty much this whole area is 440. For the most part, it's all the same that you're going to, because it's once a nice flat surface.
I was gonna say, is that building structure set at 449, so you have to, everything under, inside that building is 449? Is that 449 calling out something else?
That's finished floor elevation. So it's actually, I don't wanna get too terribly technical, but you're backing out that access for those 2 feet. Yeah.
It depends on.
Hey.
No,
So
it
what's
depends on
existing?
the build, like every build's different, like you're gonna get completely different. I'm not just saying. How much are you charging?
Take the average.
448. And yeah, it's gonna be 448, a whole bunch in this area. Pretty much everyone's gonna be 448. So like when you come over here, it's 446. So right here, yeah, 445, 445 goes to 446, so that's a +1 at that intersection.
And then we supply the lumber package, right?
Yeah, I think it's right.
Yeah, you're still going to 446, and close enough,
Probably over,
and you're
budget
at
on
445, so
Zero.
it's the same.
Bang.
It's honestly a lot easier than it seems. I know it seems like a lot, but once you kind of get going, you're like, okay, it's the same math, +1 minus 1.
I don't know.
It's like, I don't think you got. No, because you talked about going out here, right? Yeah. I was like, you can, no, I was like, they have their houses and all
I can, it's 446.
This is 446. This is.
Yeah.
Because they're building one over there by the.
You might need a magnifying glass, or I wouldn't blame you, I mean, you'd have to reprint this out, but if you wanted to print, if you wanted to print this on a sheet of paper, and zoom in and just print the view, that would give you a bigger sheet.
So 445. This is what you are.
So whatever.
Unless,
Is it, go up 1 foot?
It will be.
We don't know.
unless I am really wants the stuff from.
So this will still be 445.
This much.
So 446 is what you're shooting for.
So 445. This is
I'll tell you one thing I like to do, is I'll go through and highlight.
So this part.
I'm gonna get all my numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, same math, like, I mean, you're gonna see a lot of repetition here. But let me show you something. So what I like to do, if I'm doing this at work, and this is not highlighted, but I go through, I'll use my own sheet. Cause it is a pain to find these things, I'll go through and I'll just highlight every existing grade. So it makes it real easy for me to find them. So, you know, cause you're like, where is the existing grade? I just highlight those call outs. It makes it a lot easier.
So,
to find.
so how do you know, like, where, when you find the existing grade, cause I was also over here, so say, you have an existing grade rated for 452, right? And then you look, the existing grade contour is a foot, so if you saying the dimension line is what we gotta bring it up to, that would mean that this line and this line is a foot off, correct?
Yes, so if your line, right, you haven't drawn your grid yet, right? But you know, if your grid is right here, and you're asking what the cross section is this.
Oh, okay.
So the question is, what is it at this point right here? So you add 452, and you go and basically 452, so it's 452 minus 452.
Yeah, so this is up, right?
That's it, so zero, and then say that was your next intersection, not the one yours on, let's say it's right there. You're at
I mean, that
450,
got, like, if you
you
wanna
go
be
to 452, so it's plus 2. And if that's the intersection.
There's an
that's the
easier way to do
intersection.
Okay.
You're at 452.
Oh, okay.
So see, there's a big slope right
Yeah.
there on existing, so you're flattening
She's
it
doing
out.
it.
Okay, I see, that's my existing line.
Very
So I'm
long.
getting a line.
I paid for it. I got
What's
it.
the difference? My number will be 2. But that be 2 feet minus or 2 feet? 2 feet up,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's important that you're keeping up that, like, that you're thinking through, you wanna be very methodical. What's my existing 450 at this point, right? So I traced it all the way over to it. Then what am I going to? Going from
Dude, I bet,
so it's plus 2. That's
John
a
Beaver,
This is at 450.
he's gonna give us
It's
homework.
going at 452, so that's plus 2. This is at 453. And then going to 452, so it's minus 1.
I get it.
It gets super repetitive, like, I know it seems like a lot, but eventually you're just like, plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1.
I get it. Because
Right.
so if it's going uphill, it's positive. If it's going downhill, it's negative.
Correct.
You're the dirt guy, okay?
Uphill, downhill, something right. That's your grade, right, so that's existing grade. That's the light green line, or the light gray line, and then it's saying, get it to that elevation, so 450. And it's telling you, it used to be 452 when you're done, that means you're bringing in dirt 2 feet thick. And that's, so in the end, you just wanna know how many cubic yards of dirt do I have to carry in, or how many cubic yards of dirt do I have to carry out. And that's how you do it.
Okay, and I see here, and you did, when I see 450 right here, you did 450.
No.
So
446 is the grade this
You just
side.
take 452.
And
and minus
new
4.
grade is gonna
That's how you
be
got
447 there,
That means plus 1 plus 1.
Okay, that makes sense.
446 there, so.
Have a choice. What you get.
So So with that intersection, this one's 450, and you went up,
How exactly, is it supposed to go right there?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
What's the exact? 2/3 of the
So
way.
the next intersection grid is, so that's the, so the next grid intersection. Then it's 453. And it's not telling you to change anything, so it's 360.
I'm gonna say all of these are pretty.
Which makes sense because that's at the far edge of your job site, which is,
So with my phone numbers, do I add?
Then what are they?
and then divide by 4, which gives you an average.
There's nothing that says any otherwise. That's what I'm saying, actually. It says.
Yep. And then divide by 4. Which gives you an average cut fill for that 400 square foot
Yeah,
section.
so it just says.
And if you want to be more exact, you make this grid 10 foot by 10 foot, which is probably more like what a real contractor does, which would be a whole lot more math than it does, 4 times more math. But it'd be that average times 100 square foot section, which is still pretty big. Like, I mean, you can imagine there's a lot of dirt in 100 square feet.
When they do a big clearing in the topsoil that they strip off,
Always
it's
that would
every
be-
single time.
So you don't really wanna make sure unless it's like you're paying bills, you know what I'm saying? Most kids,
No, you're talking about the high road. That is correct. And then we. Texarkana Airport, they got.
So,
We're gonna get covered up by
so
solid.
what you have, traders, you times it by, this is 25.
The next closest road line.
Oh, square footage.
And it's 450, 458 up here, it's 458 there. So it's 450, is what you're shooting for.
Really?
And also,
Yeah, there's some over there. And don't obsess over the math on this one. Just get to where you truly understand your grading plan. Like, that's really what I want you guys to be able to do, is where I could just come over here and say, how much cut fill, or you're going up or down? We should just be able to intuitively be like, I'm going up 450.
So you take your
And then
average.
divide by 4. That's your average up or down, because the reality is, existing grade, so this is kind of your reality. Existing grade, you're just doing something like this. But that's really hard to do the math on a shape like that. So you're coming up with your average. And once you do that, you get your average.
okay, you kinda answered my question. I was just gonna ask, what do I do now with the numbers I get like close to?
So you divide it. That's your average. So let's say that's 5, 10, 5, -5, which would be what, 15, 20, -15? Divided by 4, which is 3.25?
Yeah.
-3.25 times this area, which is 400 square feet. Right, because that's 20 feet, that's 20 feet. And then that's 1,200, some odd, negative 1,200 cubic feet of cut.
I'm gonna take a picture of that.
Last time. At all points.
That's right.
I didn't work. To give you an average.
He gave me and so, and lastly, how did you draw out the grid? Cause I tried drawing the grid.
They're nailed down.
Okay, yeah, you got way out.
But I actually have engineering skill at home, so I'm just gonna
No,
leave
no,
the engineering skill.
but, yeah, so what you missed there, I kind of feel like this is mine a little bit too, is pick your 0 point right here. And I'd use, like, see this little line, and that little line, that made a nice little 0 point. So mark out 20-foot increments, or, 20-foot increments out this way. But then start over here, and make sure you 0, 0 here, 20 foot. you slid, where's your other sheet?
Moving it and making like a stockpile of it.
So you slid.
Yeah.
And so it's just very important that your 0, 0 is
It's just
right there, and your 0 is right there. And then once you mark those points, then
If they're keeping the dirt, that's where I'm curious, whatever the operator is.
that'll keep it nice and neat. Don't drive yourself nuts. Hang around, if your job depended on it, get freaking close, like honestly within like an inch is about right, but for this class, kind of, you know, up, down, that's +2.
And that's one thing else I was gonna say, and so like with the existing grades, so say for example, I have an existing grade here, I would bring that existing grade next to the magenta line 448, so say I have this existing grade right
So what's
here.
existing?
Well, I mean, you're gonna have to move
443.
Yeah, I
Go to.
So
how much,
You
how
don't
many
have
feet
to.
are we?
Confused.
Makes sense.
Specifics.